Good morning and welcome to another Thought for the Week here at MSBC. And today's reading, just to reflect on as we begin this week together, is from Romans chapter 5, verses 3 to 4, which says, "We also glory in our sufferings because we know that suffering produces perseverance, perseverance character, and character hope." How do we respond in difficult times? How do we respond when we suffer? You know, all of us at some point in time will go through a form of suffering, a form of difficulty, a form of trial. And when those times come, sometimes they come unexpectedly. Sometimes we get a little bit of a glimpse of them coming. We might be able to prepare ourselves a little bit, but whether they are times that we're aware of or anticipate, or whether they come as a surprise or a shock, they can be very difficult times to get through. And we kind of have that sort of bunker down mentality where we just try and ride out the storm. And yet somehow, by the grace of God, there can be other things happening in that time, that it's not simply about just surviving, just getting through that difficult time, but that somehow, unseen at times, God, by his grace, is working through his purpose and bringing something good even out of those things. Now, please hear me on this, because I need to be clear that I don't believe that God causes those bad things to happen in order that good might come out of them, but that our God is so gracious that even in the presence of those bad things, those difficult things, those hard things in life, him walking with us and transforming us even in those times can in themselves bring about good things. So for example, many of you know my sister passed away. It'll be 20 years ago this year. And that was obviously a tremendously difficult time for us as a family, a devastating time, a time of suffering for us as a family. But I believe that out of that time, I was 21 when she died, I have become more empathic. I think I've become gentler as a person, more able to be with people in those difficult moments in their lives. Now, did God cause her death so that I might become those things? No, of course not. I don't believe that for a moment. But I do believe that God, in his grace, can bring that perseverance, that character, that hope, even in those difficult times. So he produces through that suffering perseverance, that we keep on going. But why do we keep on going? We keep on going because of the hope that is in the future, the belief that it's not always going to be like this, that somehow things will be different in time. They can be different in time, that we don't grieve like the rest of the world grieves, and that we look forward to a day when God is going to remake the whole world and there will be no more mourning or crying or death. And that changes the way that we see the trials that we go through now, because we see them in light of a bigger picture. We see them in light of a fuller story. Does that lessen the impact of them at the time? Certainly not in those immediate moments where it's raw and where it's painful. But as we reflect, as we persevere, as we keep moving through those times, and very often with the support and the care of many others around us, then we can get a glimpse of and read into our situation the hope that is coming. And that produces that character in us, the quality of ourselves that is shaped like Jesus, so that we grow more and more like him. Jesus was a person who the scriptures say was familiar with suffering, acquainted with grief. And as he journeyed through those difficult times in his life, that shaped his character as God's unique one and only Son. And so for us, as we travel through that with him, then we can too be shaped into his character, and our characters can grow more in line and bear the mark of his character in our life together. So if you're going through a hard time at the moment, let me encourage you, keep going. Sometimes it's just putting one foot in front of the other, getting through the day. Keep on trusting, pressing into God. Keep on accepting and seeking the support of those around you. And then as that happens, be open to allowing your character to be shaped more like Jesus, and keep sight of the hope that it's not always going to be like this, the hope that he is with you even in the hardest and the darkest of times, the hope that he is reshaping the world so that one day there will be no more mourning or crying or pain or death, because that way of things will have passed away and he makes everything new again. So may God sit with you and walk with you in those hard times, and may you know the joy in the presence of others who will do that with you as well. And as you move into this week, maybe you could be that person for somebody who's struggling. And I pray that God uses you to be a blessing, and that in that you also might be blessed. God bless you.